Hello, 11 Sat. This is Mujahid Zardawi, and welcome to the computer class of 19th of April 2020. Today we will solve the second exam. This is a soft copy of the online exam that you took. So let's go to the first question. The first question was about Microsoft Access. So one, Microsoft Access is an example of course, a database software. So Microsoft Access is an example of a database software. Question number two, numeric data with decimals are known as real numbers, of course. So in this question, I want you to remember that when you have a number like 5, 7, this is integer number. But when you have 5 point something, so you have another number after the point or the decimal point, this means that it is a real number. For example, 5.3, 7.1, or anything like this. So remember the difference between the real data types and the integer data types. And remember something else, that the integer is a special case of the real values. So let me erase this part and go to question number 3. The combination between letters and numbers, here we have letters and numbers together, are called, of course, alphanumeric. So we have the combination between letters and numbers. Question number 4. Numeric data without decimals, as we mentioned earlier, it's called integer values, like 5. So all of the other values are not integers. Five, if you want to store the value as in this date in the database, we would use, of course, the date and time, because here we have a date. Question number 6. In database, logical or, of course, Boolean. When we say Boolean, another meaning for Boolean is it's logical, and in this case we have values which accepts only two possibilities, like true, false, 0, 1, or black and white, and so on. Let's go to question number 7. Data uses money symbols, bound, dollar sign, euro. It's called as, of course, currency. Question number 8. Number data can handle both, of course, positive and negative values. Question number 9. A primary field is a piece of data in a database that is unique to a particular record. So let me give you an example. If we have a database with a student ID. Each student ID identifies a particular record, a particular student. So it's a primary field, not a record, not a main record, and not a database key. While if we go to question number 10, databases are used to store and organize data. Of course, yes, this is the purpose or the function of all databases. Question number 11. A single row in a database table containing all data about single object or person, called, of course, a record, because you are talking about uh, the fields are not rows, they are columns. So the answer here is record. Question number 12. Individual pieces of data are stored in which location? It's not in records, it's, of course, in fields. Question 13. Which one of the following dates matches this format? Here we have this format. Simply, you go to the day. This is day. And because we have here 3 M's, it means the system should recognize the first 3 letters of the month, and followed by, of course, the year with 4 digits. So this is the correct answer. Question 14. How many fields are in this table. Let's see. When we talk about fields, we are talking about one, this is number one, field number two, three, four, five, and six, seven, and eight. So we have field patient ID, field name, date of birth, gender, phone, doctor ID, doctor, and room. So we have 8 different fields. So remember, fields are the how many columns do you have, and records are how many rows without counting the first row, which contains the field names, of course. Let's go to question 15. How many records are there in this database, in this figure? Let's see. As we mentioned earlier, we have row number one, row number two, row number three. So we have 3 rows, and as I mentioned before, we don't count the first row, so we have 3 different records. And each record contains all the data about one person or one individual. So this record, highlighted in green, is for Jeff. This is the person, the patient Jeff, which contains all of his data. So we have here 3 different records. While question 16, this figure shows file, records, fields, and data. D is for data and F for fields. So the whole diagram shows the database structure. How do we construct a database? Let's go now to question 17. Take a look at this figure, and the figure shows the fields of students table. Which one of these fields is going to be the primary key? From the key, can you see the figure of the key here? The icon of the key, and the student ID is unique. And it's the only unique field in this database, so student ID is the answer. Let's go to question 18. In databases, the purpose of making queries is to filter this or search data according to some criteria, of course. We are using the queries in order to find something under condition or a specific criteria. For example, I'm searching for the students who got 90 or above. So in this case, I'm specifying special criteria for my students that I'm searching for. Question 19. The figure shows components of a school database. How many tables are there in this database? Now, pay attention to this. You have a title here, table, and you have queries. This figure shows that I have only one query. The query is a special case of tables, but it's originated from a table, but it's not counted as a table. So it's a query. Query is a query, and table is a table. So we have here 3 different tables. So we have 3 tables: administrators, students, and teachers. So the answer is 3. Let's go now to question 20, which is the last question. We have a table here. The table shows the doctor table with 3 different fields with 2 records. Um, why doctor ID, which is this field, suitable for being the primary key? Because it's unique and it's not duplicated. This is all about the second exam. See you next time.